Welcome to Casio Chaos Theory, and welcome to this video where we are going to examine a much condensed and edited version of the recent Casio livestream, where Casio revealed their latest Casiotone model, the surprising and unique Casiotone CT-S1000V. As the livestream was almost 2 hours long, and being live, there were gaps and also a lot of talking in it, as is normal for a live stream, I decided to edit it down to a much shorter form to highlight the main point regarding this new Casiotone model, and also to give my initial reactions as things are unveiled. Timestamps are in the description box down below if you want to jump to specific topics. Now, as a big Casio and Casiotone fan, I'm excited about this new keyboard that has really taken a unique approach to making music. I can tell you right now that I can't think of any other keyboard that does what the S1000V can do in a similar package. It really is in a class of its own. If you've already watched the CT-S1000V livestream, there won't be much in this video that you haven't already seen, other than my additional thoughts and comments. Also, this video is not a review of the CT-S1000V, as it has yet to be officially available in stores and is currently only a pre-order option. And despite my channel being called Casio Chaos Theory and featuring mostly Casio keyboards, I have no official links to Casio and have not been given a pre-production S1000V to review. My channel is too small. But if you like, subscribe and ring the bell, you can help Casio Chaos Theory to grow bigger. Anyway, let's start off by watching the teaser video that Casio put out a few weeks ago. It seems to have vocoder or talkbox capabilities and maybe some extra controls compared with the previous CT-S Casiotone models. And I suppose that yes, we are ready. Let's listen to Mike Martin, the Casio America GM marketing manager, introduce the S1000V to us.
Hi, I'm Mike Martin from Casio. And for decades, musicians have strived to bring a unique voice to their music. In fact, they've gone to great lengths to literally make their instruments speak. Using Casio's proprietary technology, our new instrument, the Casiotone CT-S1000V, can speak or sing through vocal synthesis.
Aha! It's not a vocoder or a talkbox because it doesn't synthesize your voice. It is truly a voice synthesizer. Also, is it a coincidence that a synthetic voice-generating keyboard in a striking red and black color scheme makes you think of a well-known and influential German electronic band? Maybe this is the Kraftwerk edition Casiotone. Let's hear some more about this new model from Mike again.
No microphone is needed. Words are input into Casio's Lyric Creator app, and then those are transferred into the keyboard.
This is quite a novel concept. Keep going, Mike.
When you play the keyboard, you can hear your words, which you can play polyphonically, producing harmonies with your choice of 22 different vocalists. The CT-S1000V can sound like talk boxes and vocoders, but it can also produce choirs and sounds you have yet to imagine.
Can you hear my voice? You won't believe it. Can you conceive it?
It definitely sounds interesting. What else can it do?
Beyond the vocal synthesis technology, the CT-S1000V has 800 tones and 243 rhythms on board. An absolute arsenal of sounds that can go wherever your music might take you.
Now that we've got a clear reveal of what the CT-S1000V has to offer and is capable of, I have to say that I like this thinking outside the box and novel concept. It's as if Casio took their classic voice arranger keyboard, the VA10, one of these, added the SK60 sampler with its voice sounds, and then mixed them with a bit of RAP-1, RAP-Man keyboard, to give us a grown-up version of these three iconic and incredibly good fun keyboards, while keeping the fun and unique element that many loved about them. This is a good direction for Casio to take. Let's listen to some more of what the S1000V can do.
Hello, I am the Casiotone CT-S1000V. So much music all around, I can make you sing. You won't believe it. Voices, voices. Casio,
This reminds me a bit of the voice cycling mode of the SK60. And I can show you, because I have my SK60, and let me turn it on. And what I've done is I've already put some samples into here, kind of similar to the demo you just heard. So I put Casio on 3 of the pads, because you can have 3 pads. You actually have 4 pads, sorry, 4 samples. You can actually have 1 big sample, 2 shorter, I forgot now, and 4 really short samples. So and you can also cycle them by using a cycle mode. Go to there. And what it will do, it will play them in sequence. You can play all 3 at once. So yeah, it's kind of an interesting little feature. Oh, sorry, cat.
You don't have to make a sound. I'll do all the talking. You don't have to make a sound. I'll do all the talking. We all have something we'd like to say.
I like that layering sound with the voice synthesis. Nice. Now, Rich Formidoni is going to talk about the S1000V's built-in lyric feature.
So the CT-S1000V comes with a lot of lyrics built in. So you can see the screen in the upper right there. As I scroll through, I've got lyric and instrument tones. If I push the lyric button, I'm scrolling through, and there are 100 presets. And then once I get past 100, by the way, those 100 presets can be overwritten. So if you're running out of room, if you fill up all 50, you can just overwrite the presets, no problem.
That's a good selection size, and also good that you can overwrite the presets. Many times people have a keyboard with a bunch of presets they neither want nor use, so the ability to add extra user slots by overwriting them is a definite plus. Mike will now tell us about the vocal types that are available in the voice synthesizer section of the S1000V.
So let's take a look at the vocalist page here. And as mentioned, there are several different vocalists, and you can actually get in and adjust these. You know, I keep going to the choir one. I love it. It's just so beautiful. Choir trio is amazing as well.
Hello, I am the Casiotone CT-S1000.
There certainly seems to be a good selection to choose from.
By the way, all the music you heard in the introduction videos today is from these instruments. So the guitars, all the keyboard sounds, the synthesizers, you're hearing the sounds of the CT-S1000V and the CT-S500 in these demonstrations.
The demos I've heard so far do seem to sound very good. The S1000V is certainly showing itself to be a very capable keyboard so far. But what about effects? Here's Mike again telling us what's available.
So active DSP, you can see that I have a full effect chain here with overdrive, a cabinet simulator, phaser, and delay. And all of those elements can be customized. And to answer the question I saw in the chat, yes, you can apply those to vocal tones, lyric tones as well. So the whole DSP chain is available whether you're dealing with an instrument tone or a lyric tone.
That's great! A whole bunch of DSP effects that can be applied to both the lyric and instrument tones. I've also looked in the user guide, and there is a very sizable selection of DSPs to choose from. If we scroll through the list, it appears that just about every type of DSP that you could need is covered, and there are 100 to choose from. Going by the sound of the demos and Livestream, they are good sounding DSPs too. Moving on to a new section of the Livestream, we get to hear Casio artist Christian Mathew Cullen giving his thoughts after using a pre-release S1000V.
And then they unveiled this new part of it that I didn't expect, which sounded like a talk box. It sounded like a vocoder. And so I asked, where's the microphone? And they said, there is no microphone. This is amazing.
I think he likes it. Mathew then put together a track just using an S1000V, and here he is showing how he used the mobile Casio app to transfer the lyrics to the keyboard to construct his song, Can't Stop the Beat.
Now I got to figure out what kind of lyric I want for the top line of the chorus. And I was thinking maybe Can't Stop the Beat might be pretty cool. Can't stop the beat. Okay. So we'll save that. Now we're going to transfer it over to the keyboard.
Can't stop the beat.
You could do like,
Can't stop the beat.
yeah, that could work.
Can't stop the beat.
Or how about,
Can't stop the beat. Can't stop the beat.
that's a pretty cool effect in itself.
That reminded me a bit of the Beastie Boys and their song Intergalactic.
Actually, let's do talk box.
That's all I know.
Yeah, that'll cut through a little better.
Can't stop the beat. That's all I know. Can't stop the beat.
This is the most amount of fun I've had making music and discovering it in a very long time. So you have to check it out for yourself.
Christian also came up with another song using the S1000V, and it sounds great.
Am I alone? What could it be? No one to feel the pain inside me. You know it's hard for me to take this heartbreak. Can we be that we were better? You know it's hard for me. Fall into the future in the system of control with computers as the meaning.
I like that. Good track there from Christian, and all done with the S1000V. Okay, next we find out that there is also an arpeggiator on board, and Rich will show us how it can be applied to the vocal tones as well as the instrument tones.
I can also turn on the arpeggiator, which I've done here. And now I'm cycling between those syllables. And as I'm doing it, I'm going to turn this vocal type knob. And select syllables one at a time. You can add some pedaling to sustain some notes. You can add a rhythm if you want. So the answer to your question is yes, you can absolutely use the Arpeggiator with vocal synthesis, and it's a great way to turn somewhat human sounds into superhuman sounds. So you can make the vocal synthesis engine on the CT-S1000V go far beyond what a human voice is actually capable of doing, and that's one of the coolest things about it.
Another novel feature from this surprising keyboard. And I'll take those superhuman sounds over all those awful auto-tuned vocals clogging up modern pop music. Anyway, here's Mike with a bit more information regarding the Arpeggiator.
You know, the Arpeggiator is fantastic. So the Arpeggiator is fun, whether it is being used for traditional synth sounds or the vocal sounds.
That filter sounds nice and smooth. I'm not sure if there's a resonance control as well. Let's look at the manual that is available online. If I go down to page 91, aha, there we can see that by default, the K1 knob is assigned to the filter and the K2 knob is assigned to resonance. So yes, it does have resonance, and hopefully it will be as smooth as the filter. Now we get to hear all the featured artists that were lucky enough to be given a pre-release 1000V, showcasing what they managed to do with it. As with all this live stream video, I've edited and condensed these performances to make the overall video shorter, but I've kept the essential essence of the tracks. Have a listen.
Deep in my soul, I know what you mean.
That last chap was having a lot of fun there. Great sounding track too. In fact, all those demos sounded excellent and show what the S1000V is capable of. Perhaps more so in electronic, dance and pop music, which is probably more the market Casio is aiming for with its keyboard, though the S1000V also has very high quality acoustic sounds on board too. Next up, we get a little presentation and first thoughts from Money Mark, a keyboardist who's been around for quite a number of years and who's played with a good number of well-known artists. Here's what he has to say about the S1000V.
Oh, how's everybody doing? I'm Money Mark. I played keyboards with the Beastie Boys and with a bunch of other people. I don't want to go on and on about that. There's not many new keyboards that come along and that excite me this much, but I've been playing Casios for a long, long, long time. Just randomly picked a sound. The drums sound incredible in here. Now, that sound that you heard down here, I can put it in kind of an arpeggiating mode. makes it so special is that it has vocal synthesis in it. This thing can talk and sing. Now, how it does it is, this is like blowing my mind. I love to take you dancing. All right, I can't endorse this anymore. This is so amazing. Casio really, really, really slam dunk on this one. Okay, Money Mark signing off. Thank you, Casio.
I think Mr. Money likes it. Okay, next we get a little demo from composer and producer Jae Deal.
What's up, it's Jay.
That was nice, kind of a chilled out and smooth R&B style vibe there. And now we get to hear from Laura Clapp Davidson, who made a complete song with the S1000V, and she also detailed the steps she took to construct the track. Take it away, Laura.
Hey, I'm Laura Clapp Davidson. I'm a Casio artist, and I got the chance to check out the brand new CT-S1000V. And I'm really excited about this particular keyboard because now as a singer-songwriter and a looper, I can start flexing my creative muscle a little bit more. And it's given me the opportunity to create something a little bit different than what I'm used to.
Sometimes I find myself spinning, caught beneath the weight. Rise up, take what's yours, nothing's holding you back anymore. So rise up, stronger than ever. Rise up, take what's yours, nothing's holding you back anymore. So rise up, stronger than ever. Rise up, stronger than ever.
I admit that I've never heard of Laura Davidson before, but I have to say, wow, what a voice. I definitely need to check out more of her work. And after that great performance, Laura then went on to demonstrate the steps she took to put the track together.
So now you've just heard the song Rise Up, and you were probably wondering what were all of the different things that were going on. And there were quite a few different things happening. But I thought I'd start from the top and show you how to use the Lyric Creator app. I'm going to do Rise Up, Stronger Than Ever. And then I click Done, and you can see that there are the note representations of what I'm going to be speaking, and I can send it over to the keyboard like this, or I can do some fine tuning. And then I'm going to tell it where I want it to go and click Transfer. I'm going to select the keyboard and click Save. And then it's saying Preparing, and now it's already into my keyboard. So that's how I was able to create this sound here.
Rise up, stronger than ever.
All right, so that's the Rise Up tag at the end. I also wanted to be able to change the sounds quickly throughout the demo, so I created 4 different banks. The first bank was my percussion, and then I wanted to have that nylon guitar sound come in, which was... I also then wanted to have the vocoder come in at the end of the chorus to tag it out. So that was this sound here, the Rise Up. And then the last setting that I had was adding a grand piano sound. That was this one here, and then I also switched it up to that final vocoding out, the
Rise
up stronger than ever.
stronger than ever.
So that was how I put that all together and made it easy to kind of tap through so that I didn't have to scroll through on the wheel of the CT-S1000V. So that's how I use the keyboard, my looping, and my live vocals to create the song Rise Up.
Thank you, Laura, and thank you for your song and incredible vocals. Next in the live stream, we have Mike showing how all the vocal sounds have real-time control available to them and how the many DSPs can be applied to the sounds also.
The vocal sounds on the instrument,
So much music all around.
the ability to take lyricists and manipulate them.
So much music all around.
So you do have real-time control over the vocalists. You can use the DSP and dive into some of the pitch, modulation, distortions, and other effects as well. So you can truly take these voice sounds in amazing different directions.
I really like the flexibility and thinking that has gone into the S1000V. And speaking for myself, and no doubt others too, real-time control and effects are very important, and it's great to see this implemented on this new Casio Tone. This is also making the S1000V quite a powerful and expressive instrument. Going back to the DSPs, how deep are they? How easy are they to apply? Rich has the answers in this next segment.
So now I'm jumping into my active DSP. I push menu, active DSP, and then I can scroll through all these different types of effects, and somewhere around here there is a ring modulator. So it can give you some really, really otherworldly sound. And then it's important to know you can actually go in and tweak these effects very, very deeply. So if I go and push parameter, ring mod, I can change the oscillator frequency, the rate, and the depth. There's a tone and a wet and dry level and a bypass. And these kind of controls exist for every one of the effects that's in there. So you can create a whole effect chain for your vocal synthesis that's going to take it to a place that nobody's ever heard of.
This is all great stuff. Just from what I'm hearing so far, the S1000V has quality sounding effects to go with its 800 quality tones, and the effects also seem to be very user customizable too. But what about registrations? Here's Mike answering that.
Registrations will allow you to navigate the instrument, whether it's instrument tones, rhythms, or more. You can select those through registration. So just as a quick example, I'll grab bank 8. I've got a registration set up, and this is actually the bridge from Christian Cullen's song.
Dive into the future in the system of control with computerized does mean being dead automated so.
But I can set that up with its effects, with everything else in a registration and get to it quickly. And that will recall everything, the system tempo, the type of lyric that you're using, and more. You know, so this example, oops, sorry, 15.3. That's one of my registrations. So you have 16 different banks of 4 registrations to choose from. So plenty for all kinds of your not only vocal performances, but keyboard instrument performances as well.
Not much more that needs to be said about registrations in the S1000V, other than this will make it a very competent live gigging instrument. You can program multiple registrations into the Casio Tone to be recalled at the touch of a button. Very useful. Next, the live stream moved on to some Q&As, and one question asked if the S1000V has last year's award-winning tones that are in the CTS1 model on board. Here's Mike with the answer, and he also gives us some more details about the S1000V's tones.
Are the CTS1 patches on board? Thank you for asking. So yes, the CTS1000V has, within the 800 tones,
It has the 61 tones that were originally only available in the CT-S1. You can find all of those here, and there's some absolute classics. So I'm just going to go real quick to back to my piano. But as we scroll through the different tone categories, you will find, everything from the classic Casio category. There's the classic Casio. So you've got the VL tone sounds.
The classic VL1. What more can be said? It's still wonderful. I still love it.
You have some of the other things, the classic in the pipe category. Some of the famous sounding tape flutes.
Tape flute sound, most likely meaning mellotron. Someone has probably copyrighted the mellotron name, hence Casio calling it a tape flute, which kind of what the mellotron was. It was a tape with flute sound and other sounds on it.
So a lot of those tones that previously you only heard in the CT-S1000V, you will now find all of those here.
I think Mike actually meant the CT-S1. I'm sure he's had a long day.
But the CT-S1000 takes it further because you have, and I'm going to go to the synth brass category real quick, because now you've got real-time control over those sounds. So the CT-S1000V gives you that real-time control. And if you adjust a tone, so maybe I want the synth brass tone to be a little bit darker. Well, you can store that as your registration. Screenshot of everything that's happening on the keyboard at one time will be stored.
Once again, that real-time controllability is both powerful and excellent for live performances, a very useful feature. And also, once again, that filter does sound nice and smooth. Mike then went on to tell us some more about the S1000V's tones, and also that it has a bunch of new tones not found in any of the previous CT-S models.
New tones that were developed strictly for this instrument that have never been in anything else before. In my demo song earlier, there was a beautiful nylon string guitar. That's a new tone on the CT-S1000V. And this is the way I used it in the song with that little additional stereo delay happening. So again, lots of new tones beyond what the CT-S1 offered, and even beyond what other CT-S instruments have offered before.
Another question asked was, does it sample?
In the chat, again, somebody asked if this keyboard can make samples. Yes, there's an analog audio in on the back of the instrument, so you can add your own samples to the keyboard, or you can use, and Rich is holding it up, thank you, Rich, this device, the WU-BT10 wireless Bluetooth adapter.
It should be noted that the S1000V is not primarily being marketed as a sampler. It can have just one melody sample of up to 10 seconds. For example, if you wanted to sample another instrument, such as a note on a piano. This means that a melody sample will increase or decrease in duration as well as pitch as you play it up and down the keyboard. Or it can multi-sample up to 16 shorter drum sounds that can then be assigned to individual keys to build a kit. Moving on, Mike then explains more about what the Bluetooth adapter can be used for.
So with this connected to the back of the keyboard, you get two big features. Number one, you get Bluetooth audio into this truly amazing speaker system. You've heard every artist on the feed today talk about how amazing and convenient the speaker system is. But the other thing you get is wireless MIDI, which allows you to connect it to your favorite applications. And we do have a new application coming out soon called Casio Music Space, so stay tuned for that. But that Bluetooth audio in can not just go to the speaker system, you can sample through that as well.
Including Bluetooth audio and wireless MIDI is a nice addition and further adds to the flexibility of the S1000V. And in answer to another live stream question, we get more of an insight from Rich about the S1000V's rhythms and variations.
I just saw one question come in about rhythms and how many variations they can have. So I can just give you a quick answer on that. If I choose a rhythm, you can see there's a variation button right here. So these 5 buttons will change function depending on what you're doing. And if you push rhythm, you can see variation. So I'll start this rhythm up and press variation. So you have 1 variation per rhythm. Now that same question also asked about the DSP effects. If I go to active DSP, I can choose which part I want the effects to be applied to. I can choose upper 1, upper 2, or lower, and each one of them can have its own effect chain. So each one of them can have up to 4 effects in a single algorithm. You can't apply DSP effects, active DSP effects to the rhythms, but there are system effects like reverb, chorus, and delay that you can apply to the rhythms.
There is certainly some flexibility with the built-in rhythms, though it seems that there's not a whole lot of variations. However, from what I understand, you can program or record your own rhythms, so that might be the way to address this. And finally, Mike covers the S1000V's menu system and explains how flexible it can be.
The menu system on the CT-S1000V is context sensitive. So depending on where you are on the instrument, if you have a tone selected, well, guess what? You've got quick access to split, layer, and other things like the Arpeggiator. If you have rhythm selected, the menu here changes. But the best thing is you can completely customize the menu system based on what your needs are. So if you need things like layer balance, or if you need quick control to adjust what the knobs do, you can change these 5 functions and set them up on the home button. So you can always get to what you need very, very, very quickly.
Well, no one can say that the S1000V is not flexible or customizable. It really does seem to be very well thought out, as well as unique.
It's time to go, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. We'll see you next time.
Thanks, everyone. Take care.
Goodbye, and thank you, Mike, Rich, and all those that contributed to the live stream and for showing us what this novel new S1000V Casiotone keyboard is all about. I hope that you enjoyed this condensed video of the CT-S1000V livestream and found my real-time reactions and responses to it useful. To give you some closing initial thoughts of this new model from Casio, I have to say I think its unveiling caught many by surprise. Most of the online chatter, when seeing the teasers, thought that it would be Casio bringing us a dedicated synth-based keyboard, something we've not seen from them since the excellent XW series of synths almost a decade ago, and that it would include a vocoder. If anything, those expectations were turned on their heads by the S1000V not having a vocoder and by not being a synthesizer, at least not in the more traditional sense, but by it having a unique form of vocal synthesis that among many of its voice tones meant it could play and sound like a vocoder. It is very much a unique concept and take on a modern keyboard, and though vocal synthesis itself has been done in the past, I don't believe that there is anything else currently out there that is anything like this. In fact, I can't think of any keyboard ever that can do and has anything close to all the features that this new Casiotone CT-S1000V comes with. If there are any caveats, as fun and as inspiring that this vocal synthesis may be, I'm not sure that you'd get away with having an entire album with just the S1000V reciting all the lyrics. Having it featured on a handful of tracks and maybe sprinkling it onto others alongside human vocals, I believe would be a more realistic application. Also, though it has multi-track and sampling capabilities, bear in mind that these are rather limited if you are used to a fully fledged multi-track arranger keyboard and more powerful samplers. I also have to say that initially, the $449 recommended retail price is higher than what I was expecting, but to be fair, because of the current state of the world, all products are more expensive than we are previously used to. My very final thought is that I am so glad that Casio has developed and released this unique model, as it seems to embody the very spirit of those classic Casios and Casio Tones that many of us older musicians grew up with and fondly remember. Casio often made fun, left field and thinking outside the box keyboards that took a very different approach to making music. And this is exactly the approach the S1000V has taken. If the S1000V is the first of a new line of keyboards from Casio following that philosophy, I am really looking forward to seeing what they come up with next. And I'm finding it very hard to convince myself that I don't need a CT-S1000V in my life. And that's it for this video. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. And remember, keep it Casio. Tone.